Here's another cancel culture that needs to be talked about. It's about developers having bad opinions on the internet and why we should cancel them for having those opinions. Now, before we begin this dumb cancel hoopla, YouTube will demonetize this video because of bad words. So huge thanks for those who supported me. You can do so by checking the links down below. So Iron Fury, in case you don't know, is a video game developed in Build Engine by 3D Realms. Yes, this is a game in 2019 using the Duke Nukem 3D engine, well, a modified version at least. I know about this game for a while, but it was thanks to Lazy Game Review's video that made me to know more about it. He is, after all, very passionate about 90s shooters, especially anything related to Duke Nukem. He concluded that the game is really good and worthy of your purchase. So if you are interested in this type of game, you can buy it on Steam. I personally don't have a lot of nostalgia for Duke or the Build Engine games in general. I'm more of a Doom guy or Unreal Tournament guy, so this game being on my purchase list is rather unlikely. This game got embroiled into a hoopla, so let's talk about it now. This hoopla all began thanks to a post on Reset Era. The original poster essentially criticized the developers for the game on their interactions at Discord because some of them used the term SJW in a derogatory fashion and called them nuts. The original poster also criticized some of the opinions of the developer and calling them transphobic because one of the developers said, yeah, if you're trying to decide your child is trans at birth, you have mental problems and probably shouldn't be a parent in my opinion. I'd like to interlude here for a bit, but what's wrong with that opinion exactly? You can't just decide that your child at birth should automatically be a certain gender without their consent. Maybe when they actually do feel that they're struggling with their gender identity as a teenager or as an adult, but not when they couldn't even form coherent sentences. The OP then highlights a joke post on Twitter posted by a member on the Discord server. The joke is highlighting a Twitter post with two articles. One is about how the WHO finally stops classifying trans people as mentally ill, and the other one is also about WHO, but this time it's about them officially classifying gaming disorder. The OP has a problem with the post because the developer asks if trans people just chose to be trans and if there's anything in their heads. I'm really not sure what this guy's trying to say. So what other complaints that the user has with the developer? One developer said that there's no feminist slant in the game. Okay, how is that bad? One developer asked if reassignment surgery combined with depression and other big mental issues won't cause suicide. One developer says the dreaded R word and makes a point that people are upset for saying it even though it's on an R-rated video game. Well, what's wrong with that? It's a mature-rated game. You can say whatever you want. I can't say it because YouTube will demonetize me. The use of the word itself isn't bad in the context, but context doesn't matter to these people. One developer makes fun of Randy Pitchford and mocks his version of Duke Nukem as Duke SJW. And that's it. It's the developer saying Duke SJW, and that's enough for contempt apparently. One developer talks about how SJWs are nuts and how they got pissed at people on Twitter and Tumblr to the point of doxing them and trying to get them fired from their jobs. This is factually true. In fact, this is what you are currently doing right now. You are painting these developers in a bad light in order for them to get punished or reprimanded because you don't like the things that they say. This is why people don't like SJWs. This is why the game developer puts SJW in a derogatory fashion. The next post is the developer laughing about people making fun of SJWs. That's literally it. Apparently this is enough for contempt as well. The next post is how the developer talks about the hypocrisy of slut walks. People really love to do these slut walks, but if you portray fictional women and dress them the same way, you get flack for it. But that's true though. It has happened many times. I don't see what's wrong with this statement. One Reset Era poster said, someone needs to teach this guy the meaning of the word agency. Oh, so you're saying that people in slut walks consent to be dressed that way, but fictional characters dressed sexily don't consent to it because fictional characters have free will and they can consent, right? But this is just the beginning of the hoopla. Remember how I know more about this game thanks to Lazy Game Reviews? Well, one person on Twitter posted about this hoopla, someone tagged him into the conversation, and essentially made him to talk about this. Clint from Lazy Game Reviews is pretty much your average YouTuber who has has no idea about the culture war that is going on. He doesn't know that Reset Era is manufacturing Outrage out of absolutely nothing. He's pretty much confused, which is why he tagged 3D Realms and asked them what's going on. Now let's get back to the mental illness discussion, because some of the people who complain about this are, in my opinion, actually mentally ill. Not because they're trans, but because they're insanely judgmental and paranoid. Take, for example, this post. This is coming from someone who has a they/them pronoun in the bio for a singular person, whose curator has the account in protected mode. But that's not the important bit. Here's what they have to say.
Wouldn't it be awesome if just once I could buy a video game by a small studio and not have to exhaustively vet everyone on the team beforehand in order to figure out if they'd consider me a joke or hate me on principle?
When in any of those posts have the developers state that they hate trans people on principle? At best, they're either questioning or criticizing your behaviors and lifestyle. At worst, they indirectly call trans people mentally ill. There's nothing that indicates that they actually hate trans people on principle. This is an absolute reach.
Separate art from the artist, etc. It's certainly a solid game and so on and so forth. I'll still keep playing it too, since it's there in my library now and all. I just can't help but groan, having put my money in the wallets of folk who would rather see me and my friends dead.
Whoa, 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 hold up there. Folks who would rather see you and your friends dead. Where the hell did that come from? Do you seriously think that these game developers would want to see you and your friends dead because of a bunch of posts on Discord, none of which advocate for it? For the record, I don't call these people mentally ill because they're trans. I call them mentally ill because there's something legitimately wrong with their mental state. But we're not done yet. We have more downright insane behaviors being done in an attempt to cancel this game. This person on Twitter actually went into the game developer's Twitter account and looked for the people that they follow. It's a crime for you to follow certain people because you don't like their politics? You don't like their behaviors? What? I don't understand. SJW Nonsense is an account that I don't think is even active anymore. They also follow Christina Hoff Summers. What's wrong with that? She's the most milquetoast person in this planet. This person also tagged Lazy Game Reviews because, I don't know, to make him retract his positive review. Is that your goal? Apparently the developer also liked the post from Lauren Southern. I'm not a fan of her either, but I don't see how this should be a point of contention. I've had people whom I follow on Twitter who are good friends of mine liking stuff that I don't like from people who have done worse things than her. That's not even the most absurd ones. Here's the account highlighting the developer liking a joke making fun of LGBT, the word, in a... Okay, that meme is pretty stale, but there's a reason why it's stale. The content is just making fun of the LGBT word. You guys are all about equality until people make fun of you. The next tweet is an account saying feminism are spoiled Western women who want to live in a world where all their actions have no negative consequences. I see nothing wrong with that statement, but you know what's the best part? Do you know why that meme was very stale? Because it's a post from 2016. Actually, both screenshots are from 2016. You actually went on to 448 likes so that you can find the tweet that he liked on 2016? But that's not even the worst part, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the absolute worst part. So back to Reset Era, the bastion of humanity, someone has the audacity to tell people, hey, he has opinions you may or may not agree with, but he hasn't hurt anybody. Let's not transform this thread into a witch hunt. Then the moderators come in and ban the user because this user is downplaying bigotry. Isn't that amazing? You are wildly exaggerating the significance of these posts, and when people say, chill fam, you're taking this way too far, you just straight up ban them. To sum up, this hoopla is completely manufactured, and it's coming from people who are overly sensitive, unable to take jokes, paranoid, delusional, insanely judgmental, and unable to take criticism. They take really innocuous words and mockery of trans people and exaggerate them into, these developers want to kill me and my friends. Absolutely ridiculous. No one should take these people seriously. I sincerely wish that game developers stop listening to these moral busybodies. And to Clint from Lazy Game Reviews, I love you, man. I don't want you to be involved in this mess. Just keep doing whatever you're doing and don't let these people influence your decision.